Hey everybody, Unk here, dropping by to talk about some of the cartoons that I had seen as a kid in the early 90s. So sit back, relax, and let's take a look at the past. The 90s had emerged from the 80s as if it had been on an acid-laced fever dream. The era of the high platform shoes, poofy hair, and neon-lit signs were slowly being replaced by a more modern, contemporary, yet wacky set of trends that would later define the 90s, and this was no different in the cartoon world. If the 80s was the era of action, then the 90s were something totally different altogether. Shows like the Rugrats defined a generation of children. We grew up on this stuff. Nickelodeon had a big impact on 90s kids. From the green slime, to Doug, to Salute Your Shorts. But those weren't the only shows that were around in the early 90s. Howie Mandel had a pretty interesting show called Bobby's World. I remember seeing that when I was a kid. Shows began focusing less on the concept of superheroes and supervillains and more on individualized characters that had unique personalities and stories to tell that often reflected relatable lives that regular people had and less futuristic and hyperbole type concepts. There were also a new type of show to emerge, one that brought about consequences, accountability, responsibility, and being more aware of your environment. And what show am I talking about?
When the 5 powers combine, they summon Earth's greatest champion, Captain Planet. Go Planet! The power is yours!
Now, Unk ain't even gonna lie to you here. I hated Captain Planet. I hated that show. There were a lot of shows that came out during that time frame that I could not stand. And to be honest with you, I really wasn't a fan of cartoons from the 80s too. I grew up, myself, watching things like Rugrats, but I also enjoyed Felix the Cat, Looney Tunes, and things like that, which were way before the 90s. So we made it to the end. You know, Unk, I like to keep it brief. I don't want to waste too much of your time, and I've got things to do myself. So, don't forget to subscribe, turn on notifications, and give a thumbs up, so that way you can help support the cause. I'm a new channel, I'm putting out stuff for you to check out, and if you like what I'm doing, show some support. Thank you again for watching, and I'll catch you next time.